person in your heart. I don't wanna stop, and I don't wanna stop. Part-time love, how we suffer now. And I don't wanna waste no more of your precious time. I don't wanna say that everything will be fine. I don't wanna feel your tears on my skin. I'm a coward, baby, don't let me in. Part-time lover, how we suffer now. So I don't wanna sit in again with you, baby, tonight. I don't wanna love, I don't wanna fight. I don't wanna have to tell you all the things I know. I don't wanna stay, but I don't wanna go. Wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of war. There is no sickness, toil nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. And I know dark clouds just gone. I'm going out to see my brother. He said he'd meet me when I come.
Good day, this is Thumbs United. We are doing a creative stream, this time with, what is the word? For live to tape. And live to tape, the current series they're doing is story time, where we go through scenic landscapes across America with this camera, dashboard cam, mounted to the outside of the car, and the whole time just listening to stories and classic tales as we go along. And Live to Tape has does it with stereoscopic cameras, and then there's also motion blur / time modulation effect. So each video that's recorded in real time is 30 minutes long, but then it's animated down to between 5 and 8 minutes. So when there's something scenic going by, then the time slows down, but then when it's like a lot of boring stuff or stuck in traffic, the playback speed is sped up, and so that's how it's animated. But it's animated more fluidly, so you don't really notice the time changes, but they're there. So sometimes it goes from like real time speed to like 4 times real time speed to like 8 times real time speed, but then slowly goes back down and everything. So it's a gentler animation because the keyframes are between like 40 and 20 to 40 seconds. So that's a long period to transition between time modulations. So what we're doing now is we're doing kind of social media, not scheduling, but social media preparation. And so it's going to be for like Twitter, some Facebook, mainly Instagram is what I'm really doing this for. And so what I did is last night I had to program overnight go, and it went through. I selected the good footage, the video files. There was about 50 or so of them, and I told it just take a screen capture, which it's technically not a screen capture. It's just take one frame every 15 seconds and export that as a JPEG. And so this is what we have. With all those videos, we have 5,289 photos to go through. So we're just going to go through and select the best ones. And again, it's each video is about 30 minutes, so it's 15 seconds. And so it's 15 seconds throughout 30 minutes of video. So there's a lot of photos per video. So right now what we're looking at is, this is LA. We're stuck in traffic and we're about to go up I-5 kind of by the, not the Dust Belt, but it's more like farmland. So this is leaving LA. So we're just going to go through and select the kind of photos with the most interesting stuff. It's going to get more interesting. To be honest, I don't know why Lightroom is being a little slower today. It might be the hard drive. It's almost filled to the brim. So now we're like out of LA. We're starting to go through the mountains. This is where it starts to get interesting. Now I love the mountains. My mom says there's two types of people. People who like water and the ocean, and then people that like the mountains. And I do like water, but I have an interesting relationship with water. I don't really go in the water for fun. There's always something like with a purpose I do in the water. So either I'm taking pictures, snorkeling or free diving, or something like that. You know, usually like taking photos and things like that, or training my dog to do like things in the water. But I never really understood just, you know, like going to the beach and just running in the water and swimming around there. It's just like, it just feels kind of pointless. But I do enjoy snorkeling and free diving, and I took a class on diving, and I passed the class, but I never was able to do the open water test, so that part sucks. But now I know I can do it. It was just so much fun. Diving is incredible because it feels like you're just floating in space, and I think that's the closest I'm gonna get to, you know, knowing what it's like to be in space and just, you know, kind of like flying. You know, you control your elevation and by controlling your buoyancy, and you just hover around and everything. It's just so nice. And then, but yeah, the reason why I wasn't able to do the open water was because I took the class in November. It started in October. The class finished in November, and so you have 6 months after you take the written test to do the open water. So 6 months after November, it was still, let's see, what is it? November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, that's April. And April, though, there's still snow, and the lakes are still frozen over in Michigan. So it was like, well, I guess we're just gonna let it expire. So that's what happened. What I could have done was, he could have referred me, the instructor, to, like I go to, like, it's kind of like, they have them at vacation places where, like you can sign up for the class there, and then you take the test, and then you do your open water, and then you can go on the scuba tour, you know, all while you're on vacation. But so he's, you know, said, you know, we can go anywhere and like that, and he said he'll, you know, pass our papers on, and then we can take the open water there without having to take the class. I mean, you still have to pay for the open water test, but that way you don't have to sit through the class twice. Okay, now we're out of kind of I-5, and we're in Northern California, and this is going through the forest and the mountains. So I'm just selecting the best ones. And so with the scuba diving, I'm definitely going to go back and get that fixed. Right now what I do is free diving, and if you look up on YouTube, there are several videos that teach you techniques for like how to breathe, not underwater, but how to get a large amount of air into your lungs. And so one of the tricks is, you know, when you breathe in, you think about, you know, breathing air into your into your chest. What you really want to do is focus on breathing so much that you're actually pushing down your stomach. So like, to kind of visualize what you do is just you breathe as though from your stomach, so you fill the bottom of your lungs and then you fill the top of your lungs. And just doing that, you're able to, I can hold my breath for 2 to 3 minutes, versus before if you just fill up your lungs through your chest, I mean, you can do it for like maybe 40 seconds, a minute. And then the other part of free diving is you're not really running out of air. Your body is going to freak out and think that you're out of air. And so to get to like 4, 5, and 6 minutes, you just have to know that you can breathe for like 8 minutes. You can hold your breath for like 8 minutes without passing out. And so what your stomach not your stomach, what your lungs will try to do is after 3 minutes, they will actually start to cramp because they want to contract. They want your diaphragm to, let out all the air and then bring in more air. And so it's just a mental exercise of fighting that. And once you practice that, you can easily hold your breath for maybe 4 minutes or so. And so then there are free divers that can, then you have to practice, once you get to 4 minutes, then you have to actually, exercise and do other things to kind of improve the way your lungs work. But you can get divers that hold their breath for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And while that's cool, I don't want to get to that point. I'd rather just get my diver's license. So again, we're getting ready to, these photos are going to be sent out across social media and everything, so that's why I'm collecting them. And just so I have a library of images. With quotations, it's easy to spread the word out through social media and everything because it's all photography, but it's harder with live to tape because it's all video. And so now I'm getting the photos to represent the videos and to promote everything. So that will just make it easier. It will make it more uniform too. So live to tape on social media will start to look similar to quotations and LCD productions. And like LCD productions on Twitter posts everything. It posts Thumbs United content, posts live tapes content, and so this will make it easier instead of doing the video clips or the GIFs that I've been doing. I like the semi trucks for some reason. I do not know why it's running so slow. I'm checking to see if like OBS isn't using that much space. I don't know. And I really think it's just a hard drive because these images are small, like really small. In fact, I can probably tell you. I mean, they're small JPEGs. So I don't know why. I don't know why it's having such problems. I'm looking for the setting to render previews. Do. go through and render previews, which I don't know if this stream's gonna crash because that does take a lot of processing. So we're just gonna hold on and wait. It's already at 700. I built all day. Well, I took a day off gardening. It was so hot and humid that it just it didn't make sense. So tomorrow I'm going to be working. I have to fix the weed whacker again. It's like the never-ending story with the weed whacker. It was working fine, working great. I had to adjust the trimmer wire and extend it because it was wearing down. And I go to start it back up. I pull 2 or 3 times, and it's getting ready to start. The engine's turning over, and then I pull it one more time, and the pull string snaps and breaks. And it's like, so it looks like I have to take the entire thing apart to replace the string, and that's annoying. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. And then I've been told I can't use power tools on the weekend because everyone's trying to relax in the neighborhood, which is fine. So what I'm going to be doing tomorrow is just gardening the old-fashioned way, just pulling out weeds from places they shouldn't be and everything. And then, well, I got a lot of work done yesterday, but there were these runners, and they were so rude. I have an attachment. It's like a trailer for the lawnmower, and so I go around the gardens and stuff, and I pick up the branches and stuff that's fallen, and then I take that back, and these runners will come by, and I pull over to let them go by. But of course they're going on the opposite direction of that traffic goes. And so then they run till they're 2 feet in front of you, and at the last second, I'm parked so that, they don't, I don't hit them or anything. So then they run to 2 feet in front of you, then they, cut around you and stuff, and I'm like, hello, I wave to them, nothing. They're just seriously? Ran into so many people yesterday. But today was so hot, and last night I started to build a PC just with the spare parts that I had, because I was some of the parts have to work. And there was a big purge where all 3 of my Linux boxes died at the same time. So it was really difficult to figure out what parts were broken and what weren't. So I went through and I didn't throw any of the parts away. I just assumed that they didn't work. And so I was able to hobble together a computer that works halfway. I have to order more RAM for it. But right now it's a 3-core AMD processor at 3.2 gigahertz for each core. And then it has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is horrendous. And the RAM sticks are the RAM stick that's in there is iffy. On the motherboard, only one of the RAM slots work. And so if I remember correctly, this motherboard can only handle 4 gigs per RAM stick, per RAM slot. So I'm going to have to order more. Just a 4 gigabyte one. I can't order 2. I'm going to look online to see if it can handle an 8 gig, because that would be nice. But 4 is, fine. Especially since it's only a 3-core. I don't really want to have to invest that much in a 3-core. In the future, I might upgrade to a 6-core. The socket can support it. But so yeah, that working. I got a spare hard drive that had Windows on it. Wiped Windows, put Linux on it, and then it was still kind of slow, So I took a graphics card and put it in there. I was saving the graphics card for a different computer, but I put it in there, and it's the, I think 6870. It might be the 6875. So it's like, it was an okay graphics card from 2012. So that's kind of, so it boots half the time, more than half the time, 80% of the time, and it's running in Ubuntu fine. But every once in a while, it just crashes and freezes. And the reason why it's doing that is because I'm pretty sure the RAM module is kind of busted a little bit. Not the RAM slot, the actual RAM, the actual RAM itself. And so I had 4 RAM sticks to choose from. So it was a lot of testing, because I had to figure out which slot worked, and then I had to figure out which RAM sticks worked the best. And so I have the one that works the best in there, but it still, it still crashes every once in a while. And so I was able to get the Ubuntu up to date and everything. And so now I'm installing all the libraries, like developer libraries and stuff I use for my render engine. And then hopefully tomorrow it will be able to start, working on projects. It's such a low-end computer that it's only going to be rendering projects in HD. It's not going to do 4K. It could technically do 3D, that's in HD, but I have kind of a goal of what I want it to render, and there's a new project that's going to be coming out that it's just called the Create project, and it involves me taking these live streams and editing them down and posting them like twice a week to the website and everything. And then what I'm going to do is, based on what I'm streaming, like this one will be uploaded to Live to Tape on YouTube, but then the other ones where I'm working for Flotations, that will go to the YouTube channel in Flotations. So I'm not sure how I'm going to integrate them into YouTube. I might just have them all unlisted, and then I will put them on, put the links on my website. And so when you embed an unlisted video to your website, anyone who goes to the website can view it. They just can't find, and then they can click the button to view it on YouTube. But if you're just in YouTube, it doesn't show up to your subscribers. It doesn't show up on your page. So I might do that, and then like at the end of the month, publish the unlisted videos on YouTube. So I'm playing around with how it's going to release, but it's definitely going to release as blog posts on Flotations.com. And then yeah. So, yeah, see, this is moving much faster. So that's what we needed to do. Mountains. So I thought of some other things we have to edit. We have to go back and do for the VR. I have to do transitions, which is what I forgot to do on the edits. I knew we edited it too fast yesterday, but I have to add the fade to black in between each photo, so it won't take that long. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming in the morning. I want to kind of beat the heat for gardening. And it just depends on how early I wake up. If I wake up super early, which I'm going to try to do, I want to go to bed relatively soon. Now we're in Oregon. Once we finish selecting this, I'm just going straight to bed. So hopefully it goes faster, because I want to be finished at 1. Last night I was so happy we finished at 2 in the morning, and then I just got swamped. Stayed up till 4:40 in the morning. I was like, because I'm trying to switch my sleep schedule to being back. I go to bed around 2 in the morning, and then I wake up at like 9 or 8. Right now I go to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I wake up at 12 or 1. So like, in terms of hours that I'm sleeping, it's fine, and my quality of sleep is fine. It's just I want to be awake for more of the day. So what we'll be doing tomorrow, and I might do, if I do work in the early morning, then the creative stream will be in the middle of the day, like 2 or between 2 and 4. But if I wake up super early, I'll do a morning stream, which is unlikely, and then I'll do a late night stream starting between 9 and 11. And like I said, we have to cut back on those. I can't finish the stream at 2 anymore. It's nice and I like it, but I have to shut everything down and then submit things to render on the Linux boxes, and so the whole finishing everything up and stuff takes too long. You have to think about how long it is to start the production and how long it takes to clean things up after the production. So I've kind of been not thinking about ending the productions, just starting them. It was funny going through these videos. I was getting really excited because it's like, oh my goodness. Some of the places are just so beautiful, and that I was able to capture on video and everything. And so I can't wait to start editing those. I mean, there are a lot of episodes to Storytime. There's possibly 80 episodes of driving, and so I have to go and write stories for all of those episodes, and so that's kind of the slowdown. It's not the editing or the rendering, it's mainly just me writing. I have to find the story and stuff, and that's why I'm only able to do about 1 a month, but I'm going to be writing a lot more, especially in winter. A lot more free time to write. It's just working as the gardener and everything that takes up the majority of time I would have to write. And I've been streaming so much more because I'm not in school. And so what we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to be color grading, making everything look the absolute best we can. This is the original footage. Now we're in Lewis and Clark. We're in college and leaving the parking lot. Once like I took the original footage. That's where these screen captures are. These are like actual frames. In FFmpeg you can have it so it outputs a frame as a JPEG, and you can set, output every 15 seconds, 20 seconds of footage. So I set it to every 15 seconds. But the video file it was getting from is the original file. And so they're not color corrected at all. The edits for the video, they are already color corrected, but not the original files. I didn't want to have to render and then get the image files from that. It's just faster to re-edit the originals. And so yeah, we're just going to be selecting, and then tomorrow we're going to be organizing and color grading. And that's just for the morning or afternoon stream. And then in the afternoon, we're going back to Flotations and editing the Project Park series. We're almost done. Like I said, we have to go back and just add a little bit is the transitions for the VR, and then go back and do the 4K edits, which won't take very long. And so we're just going to be grouping the 4K of photographs together. And then once it's grouped, we'll divide it into the episodes like we have before, and then after that, and this is going to be a multi-day thing, so we'll probably get it into the groups Saturday, and then Sunday we'll go back and do the animations. We don't have to do any color grading for the 4K version because all the photos were taken in RAW and they were color graded in Lightroom, and so there's no extra color grading we have to do in the video editor, so that part's nice. It will be a little bit faster. And this is in Idaho. Nice sunset. Never knew that Idaho had like such beautiful mountain ranges, but they do. That's where we're driving through. There's this fly in this room, and I swear this fly is gonna be the death of me. I'm like trying so hard to ignore him, but I feel like it's in Breaking Bad, where that one fly was in the lab and Walter was like trying to kill it and almost killed himself. I'm like trying for that not to happen. So we're about a third of the way. We've been streaming for an hour. I mean, so this fly, he's like pretty dumb. He's one of those flies that will just fly straight into your head, and it's just like, I'm not even moving. Why did you have to hit me? And he's like, oh my goodness. It's like he's insulted that you were there. Okay, we have to wait a little bit. We've moved past the place to render previews. It's at 14,000 that it's done. Okay, we'll just continue on. Kind of suffer through the slowness. This is a big problem I had with the GoPro, is it fogs up because it's so hot, and whatever moisture there is. I'm sorry, my throat just got really dry. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened. It just, my throat was like, lost all its moisture. I thought I was gonna, it almost felt like I was gonna start choking. But, this was a really nice pit stop, but the only reason why we stopped there was because it was a restroom, and I was like, oh, this is actually, you know, like a visiting place. There were waterfalls and everything, and you could go walk up the cliff, and they had food and stuff there. I was like, yeah, that's really, really nice. Like, we thought it was just a rest stop. I had funny dreams last night. I had a dream I went into Costco, and they had this this photo section, like they do in real life, and but instead of just like one photo station, it was like they outsourced it to like 5 different companies. So you had to choose, do you want to print with this company? And they all had their kiosk, and they had person sitting in front of it that would help you use it. And so I was like, do any of you scan negatives? And they were like, yeah, we all do. And they all raised their hand, and I'm like, oh, now I have to actually like pick someone. And I was like, I was nervous about it, because I didn't want to like turn down all these people, you know, right in front of them. So I picked this one lady and I was like, you scan negatives, right? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, how many megapixels are your scan? And she's like, well, 3. And I was like, 3? If I did it myself, I can get, 20 to 30 megapixels. And then I was like, well, can you at least get it up to 8? I need 8 to do the animation and everything. She's like, oh no, we can do 16 megapixels, but the company won't let us because if we do it for one person, we'd have to do it for everyone, and that would just take too long. And I was like, oh. So then I was negotiating with her. I was like, can you do maybe 5 megapixels? It won't take as long as doing 8 megapixels. She's like, nope, I can do 4 though. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then that's getting done in the dream. And I go to my car once it's done. And in the back of my car is Commissioner Gordon from Batman. I'm like, oh my goodness, what are you doing back there? And it was like snowing and everything, so he was like trying to stay in the car, but he caught a cold, like a bad cold, almost like a flu. And he was like huddled under the blanket in the back of the car. I was like, do you need to go somewhere? So he was like nonverbal, and I was like, I have to get this guy to the hospital. And so I'm trying to take Commissioner Gordon through the parking lot, and all of a sudden the car gets a flat tire. So I'm outside of the car pushing it, and this is a big car. It's like a Land Cruiser, which is kind of similar size to like a Suburban or something. And so I'm pushing the car, and then trying to not let anyone know that the commissioner is in my car, because we're on like a secret mission or something. And yeah, so then we finally get to a parking lot, and I'm calling for help, like AAA or something. And then his wife comes by, and he's like, is Gordon here? And I'm like, nope, because we're supposed to be undercover. And then she like reaches open the door, and I was like, oh, and she finds him. And I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. So I thought that was funny. Then the dream changed, and I've been collecting all these sticks and stuff in real life, and so I thought, oh, you know what, maybe I'll take some of these sticks home, and I can have a bonfire, because they're like really dry and everything, so it'd be perfect. And so in the dream, I'm taking all the sticks and everything home, and some of the dry leaves to use as kindling. And somebody set the pile of leaves and sticks on fire, and I was like, oh no, this can't get to the other pile of leaves, because then it'll be this huge fire, and it's close to other people's houses, so we'll probably burn it down. So I'm trying to separate the leaves so that the fire won't spread any further, and it was just so stressful. But that was kind of like my last stress dream. I seem to always have a stress dream like once a night, one stress dream a night. Sometimes it's like more than one. The other day, the day before yesterday, I had this dream that I was in high school, and the teacher was like, okay, this is for homework. And then I was like, oh no, I didn't do my homework for the other class, and that's due, this Friday. And so I woke up panicked, thinking I have to go do my homework. And then it's just like, not only am I not in high school, I'm not in college anymore. I don't have any homework to do. So, and that's like unwanted stress. I still have nightmares about this one teacher. But I don't know where this is. I think it's in Washington. We're out of Oregon for sure. We're going north, And we went from California to Oregon. So this must be Washington. Because I remember while we were driving, I was thinking, hey, this is the state Bungie is in somewhere. Bungie, who made Halo and Destiny now. So we're about halfway done. And they're starting to get really interesting. I can't wait to edit the final episodes for Live to Tape. So now we're in Montana. Montana. And we have about... We might have to end it here. I need to get to shut everything down by 1. So we'll go for 11 more minutes. And then wherever we are, we'll call it quits, and then we'll start again in the morning. I wanted to get the selection process done, but that's not going to happen, which is okay. I don't want to rush it, and then I can let it render the standard previews overnight, because it's not even halfway done, even though we're halfway done. That's why it's taking so long to buffer these images. The issue is it thought it wouldn't have to render them because they're just HD, but as you can see, it takes it a little while to load them. And then I have to, after this, I have to get the other Linux box. I named it Tripod because it only has 3 cores, so I thought that's a good name for it. I imported these photos a while ago, and I thought that Lightroom would kind of take the hint and start rendering the previews, because that's what it usually does, is after you import it, it renders the previews, and if it's idle, it will do it on its own. But for whatever reason, it didn't. And it will do it if it's a raw photo automatically, but it didn't, probably because I thought, oh, these are JPEGs, they'll be easy to load. It's kind of getting flat. Getting into the prairie lands. we're starting to get bugs on the camera. That was the weird thing about doing the footage in New York and even driving to Pennsylvania. There was almost no bugs on the camera. Usually you collect a ton of them driving, but there were none. So I was like, that's weird. Like all of New York uses pesticides. Because usually there's a ton, especially in the summer months. So now we're in Minnesota. I got up so early. You can see the sun is starting to pick up. Not pick up, the sun is starting to come up. It's pretty difficult to drive here because the sun is straight in your eye. So we're driving east. Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That song always tricks me and takes a long time to start. So I'm like, did iTunes die? And it always gets me. I'm always about to check. Okay, it should be getting more interesting. A lot of flatlands. The farmlands. We got about 5 more minutes for the stream. I'm trying to get to bed. I want to be in bed before 2 in the morning. Ideally within the next half hour. But we'll see. I still have to work a little bit with the Linux box. I want to get it more stable. And hopefully it it works quickly, and then 1:30 I'll be done, and then I just call it quits. Gonna go pass out on my bed. So this is I'm not sure where this is. It's in Minnesota. We thought it was in I'll look it up real quick. It's one of the Twin Cities. So it's either Minneapolis or some other city. So yeah, this is in Minneapolis. So now we're just driving through the suburbs. We were looking for something. We went to college to visit. That's how I did all this. It was a huge road trip all across America for my sister, who was looking for a college to go to after she graduated high school. And half the reason why we did it was because I was going to school in California at USC, and I was studying film there. And then it was just one class. It was a director's intensive class where you had to direct 7 short films, and you had to do that in 6 weeks. So you had to shoot a little bit more than a film a week. So it was really intense, but it was enjoyable. And that's when I learned I was good. I mean, I'm an okay director. There were some, not problems, but it was really stressful. But that's when I really learned I was good at producing work. And the difference is, like, the director, you mainly work with the actors and you get somebody to do the photography, but with producing, like, I was good at getting the permits for every place, picking the actors, figuring out all the logistics and everything. And that part I was really good at, in addition to being a really good cinematographer. Like, other students would come and have me help them shoot and everything. And so that part was fun. And then on the final project, on the short films, we had a crew of 3, and then usually 4 or 5 actors. But then on the last, the big project, and it was a partnership with Disney. The last project that we would be sending to Disney, it was a crew of 10, and again, 5 or 6 actors. So that was cool because we actually got to go shoot in this place called the Golden Oak Ranch, and it's all these sets are built up and everything. So they have like an entire city there. They have all kinds of stuff, and they use it for exterior shots or for movies and everything. But they have like whole suburbs that are just houses, but there's nothing in the house. It's just it's a place where you can go and film, and you know that there's not going to be a lot of sound because it's away from everything. So that's where we shot our final short film. And we in the class there were 3 groups for the final project, and each one had 10 people. But only one was going to be sent to Disney. And so my group, and I was the director of photography there, my group and another group, we tied, and the teachers voted on which one should go to Disney. And every time the teachers would vote, it would come out with a tie, and so they kept getting more film teachers to vote, and it was still tie after tie. And so finally, after a voting session, the other teams won. But that was cool because it was like theirs was very good, and ours was really good too. So it was nice to know that even the teachers had a really hard time deciding. But so that's why we're doing this bigger road trip. My mom came to pick me up from California, and then with my sisters and everything, and then we just drove kind of a longer way back. The trip was going to be longer. We wanted to take like a month on traveling and go see like the sights and everything, but one of my sisters had a scheduling conflict, so we had to do all of this in about a week and a half. Drive through, and we saw several colleges and stuff. So we cut out all the sightseeing, and luckily I was able to do a lot of the dashboard camera. But I'm still gonna do another road trip to kind of go see focus mainly on national parks and other historical places. And so that's going to be the America Series 2. It's focusing on national parks. I shot America Series 1 already, and that's trickling out to quotations. And it's kind of like this, but it's all in 4K, and it's photography, not video. Okay, well, we're gonna stop here. I'm actually 3 minutes. Went over by 3 minutes. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Tomorrow, probably gonna stream in the mid-afternoon, so sometime between 2 and 4 p.m. And then in the evening, sometime between 9 and 11, I'm going to do another creative stream. The one that's in mid-afternoon, we're going to be finishing this. We're going to finish selecting the photos, then we're going to color grade them, and then in the evening, we're going to go and continue working on the flotation project, Project Park, and we're going to be just touching up the VR projects, and then we're going to start editing and arranging the 4K versions, 4K episodes. And then Sunday we're going to do creative again. I'll tell you the schedule on tomorrow when I know more, but for Sunday we're going to be animating the 4K stuff. So everything's shaping up. It's getting done. I just have to write the scripts for all the episodes and do the music, but the visuals are virtually done and locked in. So I want to thank everyone for coming in. I'll see everyone tomorrow afternoon.